At this point, you should have reviewed the flashcard in the Math Mastery test deck that you downloaded. Even if you haven't, don't panic. I will review an important difference in the cards. You have probably noticed that answers appeared in different places depending on the card. It's because there are two categories of flashcards within Anki. The first type is called cloze. It has square brackets where the answer should be. The second type is the basic card, and it's more like a typical flashcard. It has a question and then the answer appears below the break line. Now let's work on creating some ourselves. You may have noticed the button in the top bar that says Add. Let's click on it. This pops up the creation window. Let's choose the basic type. In the top right corner, we can choose which deck we want to add the card to. Let's create a new one. I'll call mine Miha's deck, but you can label yours whatever you like. Now back to the card. As I've mentioned before, the basic cards layout is what you would expect in an old school flashcard. We add our question here. I've already created a question that I can just paste into this category. Then we type in our answer here. I will just paste my answer here as well. Click on Add. We've created our first flashcard. Now let's try something more challenging, like adding a cloze card. Go back to Type of Card and choose Cloze. Within the text box will be the question or statement you've created. Again, I have already created one, so I will copy-paste a sentence here. You create a cloze by highlighting the portion you want to go into the cloze. Then click on this button with the square brackets. You can also use the keyboard shortcut, which is Command, Shift and C, C as in close, or Control, Shift and C if you're a PC user. Let's stop here for a second and look at what happened in this field. It may look confusing, but let's break it down. This is just code the app uses to mark the answer. Let's deconstruct it. Anki inserted double curly brackets around the cloze and in front it put C1, as in cloze 1, and 2 colons. Now let's take it up a notch. Let's say you wanted to create close brackets for 2 pieces of information in this sentence. We created our first cloze, but now we can add the second one. At this point, it's important to realize 2 separate cards will be created, but they will be both assigned to the same node. Speaking of node, I will talk about the difference between cards and nodes in the next Math Mastery lesson. Alternatively, you might want the card to ask you about both clozes on the same flashcard instead of separate ones. It's a piece of cake, you just rename every cloze C1 like this. Finally, another great feature is adding hints to cloze cards. Just put in 2 colons after the answer and type the hint in there. A hint is very helpful because sometimes there are many answers that would fit the cloze. For example, here it could be a drug, a surgical treatment, or a character trait like patience. The hint will be displayed with the question and give you some context to think about the correct category. First, you see it inside the square brackets, and it will be replaced with the correct answer. The advantage of cloze cards is that creating them saves a lot of time. The hints are easier to add than in the basic card. You create multiple flashcards with one click of the mouse, and it's more efficient to review because you immediately see the answer in the context of the sentence. The advantages of basic cards are that they are very intuitive to create and much more suitable if the answer to your question is not a word, but perhaps an image. A resource for you that I recommend is the Anki manual. This is a free text guide from Anki. You can find it by googling Anki manual and clicking the first link. I will also provide the link in the handbook for this course. Another resource is YouTube. The Anki channel is one I highly recommend. They cover some interesting topics that are outside the scope of this course. To find them, just enter Anki into the search field on YouTube.
So I hope you liked this video. Absolutely make sure to check out the course this video was taken from and to register for a free trial account which will give you access to selected chapters of the course. If you want to learn how MedMastery can help you become a great clinician, make sure to watch the About MedMastery video. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.